All right, so welcome to John and MaryBeth Timothy.
Hello, hello.
How are you guys today?
Good,
Doing
good.
pretty well. Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Really
Thanks for
excited
having
you joined us. So I guess let's start with, why do you create art?
You want to go first?
I'll let you go first. Mine will be
Me?
really short. So.
Okay. Why do I create art? I don't know why. I've done it for as long as I can remember though. So, I mean, I remember going through mom and dad's room when I was a teenager and trying to look for papers and finding little drawings that I had done when I was like a toddler. So I guess I've been drawing as long as I had something in my hand to draw with. But professionally, I don't know. I went for a long time feeling like there was something missing. There was like a hole that needed to be filled, I guess. And part of that was being away from the Native art community. But then, I'm sorry?
We're not live.
Oh, okay.
Let's start over.
Okay. Tell me when.
Too many things to push.
Right.
Sure, yeah.
I just looked and I'm like, wait a second.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Looks like it's live now.
All right. So here we have John and MaryBeth Timothy. Welcome. Tell me why you started creating art.
You go first.
Okay. Okay, so I've been creating as long as I can remember. But as an adult, I guess I felt like there was something missing that, I don't know, I just felt like I needed to do something whenever I started creating. I don't know, it was like, oh, there it is right there, so it's like now if I don't, then I like get depressed or get agitated. And so, but as an adult, I guess I felt like there was something. Is that ours or yours? Okay. Well, so anyway, I just love doing it. It's like a part of me. So, I just feel like I have to. If I don't, I'll just wither away. And it's kind of like whenever I had a 9-to-5 job and couldn't do it all the time and using my creative energy at work, then that made me even more depressed. So now that we can do this full time, you see our dogs trying to get up here. Now that we do it full time, it's like, I don't know, it's very satisfying, very gratifying. So I'm happy.
So why, I guess how wouldn't be a question, but art connects you to the world, especially if you're an introvert or you feel disconnected from the rest of the world. Art is a great avenue for, and it seems natural for us. All of us did that, when we were kids. And plus, we were lucky enough to grow up in a time before the Atari even came out. So drawing's what drawing, beadwork, whatever craft you had, that's what you did. Or if you watch TV, and luckily for a couple of years there, we had my folks had a dry spell that you might say. So, we didn't have a television, we had a radio and that sort of thing. And so artwork was what I did for entertainment. You think I'd have done more, but there again, whenever I became an adult, heck, they have video games now. So, that takes up a lot of, unfortunately, takes a lot of my time that away from creating, but I still have that creative energy always. And so it's, but that's why is just a place to give your voice to the world. You can grab this dog.
No, the dog keeps jumping.
Where do you come up with your ideas? Because you have different types of art. MaryBeth does more, I believe, nature.
Mm-hmm. More
wildlife, and John, you have some of the more character type
things.
More
humor. I like to focus on native humor. Like some people might say, well, you do characters or cartoons. Well, no, I can do serious stuff too. Like this buffalo here, bison, whatever you want to call it. But it's all about, that's part of the connection talking about connecting is because I grew up around, Native humor a lot. So some of those old timers are gone now. Some of my kinfolk that were so funny, or, and they were creative as well. They would do, if they had an avenue like this back in those days, I mean, they would be selling most likely, but, we had stick makers, things like that, people in our family. So bow makers, but they're gone now. And some of the artists, my Uncle Sonny Daly, we always loved him. And so there was the influence there for that. So it's more about Native humor. And that is an important part of Native culture that isn't seen or shown as much. It's because it seems like only for the large part, the Native community get it. We understand that, but like, take this gal here, I was set up at a show, and this is called Res Car Hop, and so I created that for an Indian taco sale that we had at Bacone College when I worked at Bacone College. And so they asked me to create this for that event. And so I did that, and I had it hanging in a show, and the original, I know it was a print like that one. And a guy passed by, he says, "Is that offensive?" He says, "Explain to me." So I explained to him the history of what was going on, but I explained to him about Native humor as well. Alexander Posey, who was a great poet laureate, and he was Muskogee Creek. He was served on the Muskogee Creek Council, and he said in his writings once, he said, "I don't know how any work gets done at the tribal council because there's just so much joking and laughing and carrying on." That it's a wonder, but that's, people see the stoic Indian as the Indian, and, that's just what people do in between smiles, is that, so there's a lot of smiling going on, and in the Indian communities, guaranteed. And that's not, people don't see that very often because that's not the ideal of the Native person here in the United States. But anyway. I said I'd be the short one, so I would.
Shut the window. It's really loud.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, we're gonna shut the window. It's kind of loud. I don't know if y'all can hear that.
If that isn't funny enough for you.
No, I didn't want anybody to be thinking anything else was going on in here.
No, I don't hear it.
So, but I love the wildlife. I love nature. I love going hiking. I don't do it, of course, anymore, but I love to go camping, all that. I just have an affinity for all of God's creations, I guess. So the animals, I'm a huge animal lover. I have an affinity for the birds. I guess, if you go on our website, you'll see most of my artwork is probably birds. But I love that. And I love to also mix it with our Native culture. So I might put some kind of like mound symbology in the background, like faded in, or even fill the image with it, different things like that, to where it creates a conversation with whoever's looking at it, and they're like, well, what is this real contemporary piece here? It's like, oh, it's not, I mean, it's done in a contemporary style, but it's actually very ancient, so that gives you a place to where it's a conversation, but also you can educate people that don't know about that part of our history. So
unmute myself here. So are you guys from the same tribe or different tribes?
Not at all. No, she's a member of the Cherokee Nation. I'm a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation.
We're warring.
We're enemy tribes. Especially, the Creek. I think the Cherokees mostly forgot about it, but the Creeks haven't forgot about it. So we haven't forgot that yet.
He chases me around with his little war club all the time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
No.
No, we get along actually really well.
Oh, yeah, we do get along really well.
Everybody always, we hear people all the time, artists should never marry artists.
But, we work together all the time, every day. There's no other place I wouldn't want another place to go to, because I had that before. But my sister, one time we were at my mom's, took my mom out to eat for her birthday party, to celebrate her birthday. And my sister said, "Do you know that John and MaryBeth, y'all have something to talk about every time y'all get together and talk?" and said, and most married people don't have, they don't have anything to talk about, but we have our whole lives to talk about what we do. We're
And we're together 24/7.
24/7.
She was like nudging her sister, like, look at them. What are they
Yeah.
talking about? How do they have anything to talk about? They're together all the time.
But we know a lot of interesting people, and so like yourself, so and all our the people that shop, come and appreciate our artwork. Those are some really good people that we know, and that's who we talk about a lot of times, is just people that we know, and the
experiences.
the experiences that we've had. We've been very fortunate to do a lot of travel, and very blessed, I'll say. Yeah.
Okay. I should have written questions down.
You should have.
Yeah,
Your favorite thing that you've ever painted, drawn, whatever. We'll start with John.
well, I think my favorite, it's probably not my favorite subject, but probably this gal here, and Rez Carhop. That's one of my favorite, because that's the first piece I entered in a show, and a big show anyway, and I won third place with that one. That doesn't make it my favorite. Even if I hadn't won anything or done anything, it would still be my favorite, because it best exemplifies the Native humor, and it promotes conversation on that subject. And so I think that's my favorite.
Well, I love Indian tacos. I just made them for dinner the other day. So
Nice. I was trying to think what my favorite. I think at this point, it would have to be the Origins painting that I did and I've got it on in the live gift shop thing that you guys have going right now, the market. The original of that was commissioned by Cherokee Nation for their new Cherokee National History Museum. And this dog is wild. So anyway, so I did, and it's like 6 foot long, and it took up we had to like move the dining room table out, and I had to set up in the dining room to do it for, I don't know how long, how many months it was set up, but did that. Yeah. And they have the original there, and then they also took that image and created this monster wall wrap. So as you go up the stairs in the museum, it's there to the left. So, but I just loved how it turned out. I loved creating it. I learned a lot while I was working on it. So just a great experience. So
it was a good one.
Good one.
is there a dream piece that you would like to work on sometime?
I started one actually for competition for this year, and I stopped on it as soon as everything got shut down, because we had to shift and start focusing on pushing everything online. So because we do this full time. So when all of the shows canceled and all of our wholesale shops closed down, we at first went into panic mode, because we thought, what are we going to do? How are we going to survive? And so we just started working completely on our online sales, and that's a big announcement we're about to make today. Is we've taken another step, and we're about to put all of our mug images for coffee mugs on our Etsy store. So I've been working on it today and getting that done. So we've got like over 75 images that we'll have on mugs. So that's a huge step for us too, to offer, something new like that. So, and I know we have them at shows, but we don't have a lot online, and we've added quite a few new images to the line as well. So, we're just working constantly trying to think of new things and adding things. And so not only creating new images, but mostly working on our online sales.
We're having business meetings all day, more or less.
I'm sorry?
I was just going to say, I can totally recommend the mugs, because I use my Yoda one almost every day at work.
No,
if I had it, I would show it, but it's in my office at the Mounds. So,
yeah.
but they're great quality. So
I was drinking out of one of them earlier. So we have 11 ounce and 15 ounce. Now these are solid white mugs. They don't have, we used to carry the ones with the black handles, everything, but we went to a new company out of Joplin that are partnering with us now, and they are made in the U.S., coated in the U.S. They are dishwasher, guaranteed dishwasher safe and microwave safe. So that's why we went to that, just a solid white mug, because of all of those great things. So it's worth it. We pay a little bit extra to be able to say that.
I thought you were going to say something. So John, do you have a dream piece that you'd like to work on? Something like some creative idea that's been mulling around in your head that you haven't started yet?
The one that, that's actually a good way of putting it, because that's how pieces that I've drawn, except that gal there, I just made her up on the spot. But there was other ones that I've had just in my mind for a long time, like the coyote stickball. That was one that I'd had in my mind for, probably over 10 years, and I just didn't put it on paper. Because a lot of times I would do that. I wouldn't do things, or I would throw them away or give them to people because I wasn't in business. Like with MaryBeth, I didn't think there was a business to it really. And I'd worked in museums and the museum gift shops and things like that, but I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think there was a market for my work out there. And so a dream piece that you say, to answer that question, oh gosh, what is a good one? They're in there. I've got like several.
He's told me several ideas, but he tells me not to tell anybody because he doesn't want anybody to steal them. So
now I forgot about them. So
I like the 18 one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. But we can't talk about it. Somebody will steal it.
Mm-hmm. I have one that MaryBeth has a sculpture near our bogus fireplace, and it's really a neat piece. It's one of her earlier sculptures, but I think that would look great in a drawing as well. I might, just kind of see what I can do with that piece. That would be a dream piece.
He says bogus fireplace because when we bought this house, that was one of the things that sold us, was the fireplace. It like takes up an entire wall and it's beautiful and we love it. And then we found out we can't use it.
It doesn't work. It's just pretty.
So we have to have it worked on, like very expensive to have it fixed.
And so we're not.
so we just stuck like an electric one inside of it for now.
So it's the bogus fireplace.
The bogus fireplace.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question here. What is your favorite medium to work in?
Depends on what mood I'm in.
That is true for her. Yeah, that's true. And I love how, if you go back to the 60s, 70s, or 50s, A.C. Blue Eagle, Jerome Tiger, Cecil Dick was another one, that flat one-dimensional style that's called the Bacone College art style because it has a little bit more dimension to it than, let's say, the Kiowa 5 style, which are just flat like paper dolls. But, that was done using tempera or basically poster paints or gouache more recently. And that's my favorite medium, but I don't do well in that medium. So it's, I love the way it looks. I like how it feels whenever you're, painting with it. Now, if I do paint, I'll paint with acrylic, but I tend to lean towards one I never thought I would, but I tend to lean more towards Prismacolor pencils. That's seem to be a little bit more forgiving, and I can blend a little better with them. It's not as hard. It's not as a great bold appearance as like, say, acrylic or watercolors, but it is. Now, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry for interrupting. So I work with a lot, but I like pencils. I love Prismacolor pencils. I had always wanted to paint with watercolors, but I'm not patient enough to mess with it. It's very frustrating to me. And so someone recommended at one point a few years ago, the watercolor pencils. I love watercolor pencils. So I like to work with those, pen and ink, and I love acrylics. It's just, and I love to put my hands in clay as well. I don't do it as often as I used to. I used to sculpt a lot more, and I haven't in a long time. But at some point, I will go back to it.
Let's see. Somebody asked for your Etsy shop name. It's Moonhawk Art, right?
Yes. So it's etsy.com/shop/moonhawkart.
Now we've had that shop for some time, but just under the, we just uploaded, MaryBeth uploaded a lot of files that of our products that haven't been online yet. So that's a good one to go see. If you've been to our site already, go to it now. Am I correct in that, saying that?
Yeah, it's ever evolving.
Ever evolving, yes. That's amazing how much evolvement goes on here. So,
Yeah, I was looking at it just a little while ago. That's how I was pretty sure I knew the name of it. Okay, so do you like to see the little tiles the best, or do you like to see like when they're like the big canvases or big, and I'm not sure how you say it, is it these?
Giclée.
Giclée, thank you.
What do you mean? Like to get orders for them?
No,
Or like to
see it yourself. Do you think it looks better in the little ones or the big ones, or is there?
It depends on what it is. I tried this dog. I tried blowing up some of like my birds, and I hated when they were too big. They just didn't look right because they're little birds, so I like them to look small and dainty. So that, that's fine. But then there's some things, I mean, like my horses, the 7 horses with the Cherokee clans in them, I would have never thought it's originally 2 foot tall by 4 foot wide. And to me, that was huge. And Cherokee Nation, they called me, or Cherokee Nation businesses called me, what, about 3 years ago, and asked if they could work out a deal with me to use that image to do a wall wrap. And that's when they first started doing the wall wraps all around Cherokee Nation here around Tahlequah. And so I told him, yeah, make sure that you let me know when it's done. And so I went over there to look at it. It was like 25 feet long, something like that. And like, I don't know, 9 or 10 foot tall. It blew my mind. I have never seen my artwork that big.
Wish we had an image that we could show with her standing next to it. We have the images.
I've posted it on Facebook, but yeah, it was crazy. I was shocked at how big it was. So I don't know that I like it that big, because as the artist that did it, I see what I feel are flaws, so to me that just like makes it more obvious. But I've had a lot of compliments from people on it, and just like the wall wrap at the new museum with the image there, I love how that turned out. That to me, it looks amazing.
That's something to see.
So yeah, it just depends on the pieces. Some look really good large, and then some, like the little hummingbirds or something like that. They're cute on the little tiles. And so.
Yeah. Let's see. What was the question? I forgot.
Do you like seeing things smaller or larger?
Yeah. Well, they, on the giclée, that the colors are very vivid. They're more true to the original. And so in that regard, I like it. Now, I like it on tiles, because whenever we, especially my type of artwork, when we go to a show, somebody appreciates one, they smile when they see it, and they smile because they know they can take it home. It's
and that's why we do.
And yeah, that's why we, especially, yeah, that's why we do that. It's because we don't want to just, we like to appeal to galleries and, large collectors of art, but also, I didn't grow up with a lot of artwork in my home. MaryBeth didn't either. And so it's really something to, I knew other people that had artwork in their home. And so that was something I was appreciated a great deal. But something about the little ones, I like seeing those in there because I like seeing people's reaction to the artwork on tiles.
Yeah, I have the same Yoda tile that I have mug.
Yeah.
And it's just so accessible. I mean, that, like you said, that's why we like doing that, because, why should only rich people be able to have art in their home? I mean, I think everybody should be able to have art in their home. So
Now, I know a
well,
lot of collectors too that they may not be wealthy, but that's what they do. I mean,
yeah,
that's their hobby is collecting artwork, and they might eat peanut butter and crackers for a month, but they go buy some more artwork, and so it's I know collectors that do that, and so it's not just
right,
for the
right.
filthy rich or
Well,
anything like that. But I know what you're saying.
yeah,
So what
because
is,
I know. Oh,
oh, go ahead.
well, I was going to say when we were talking about that we didn't grow up with a lot of art in our homes. One story that I always tell people is that we always had like a little Norman Rockwell calendar in our home. And, that was one of the inspirations for me to start doing art was Norman Rockwell. And so just from that little calendar, and I would love to be that kind of inspiration for somebody, to have some little decorative piece from us in their home and inspire one of their kids to start drawing or something like that. That would, that's what it's all about. I love that.
Hmm.
I love just, being able to put art in people's hands, whether it be an $8 narrow bracelet or, a $4,000 original. So
Some people have commented, some people in our circle have commented that, because we print so much, that we're like the McDonald's of the Indian art or art world in general, but, this isn't something new. Of course, there's people in our time that have done it, but, Woody Crombo, who's a great artist, great Potawatomi artist, um, he was doing silk screens, hand pulling silk screens, and selling them for very affordable prices. You get a full color next to original, and now you try to buy those, and they're really expensive, and so they are collector's pieces. Just because it's a copy doesn't mean it's not a collector's piece. I always use the example of like, imagine any image that you've seen in a book. Okay, that original is worth more because more people have seen it but don't own the original, so it makes that original worth more. But the limited edition copies, those really pick up value as well. Most of ours are limited like that too, so you get a piece that increases in value. A lot of people say, well, I don't want to sell it, I wouldn't want to sell it. I say, yeah, but it's always fun to have something that increases in value because we have that pride and ownership, whenever we purchase something. And so yeah, it's nice to see it go up in value.
So is there anything that inspires you while you're creating music, food, anything?
Food about takes it all, but
I was waiting for that.
yeah, I love music. I love music. I love, playing a little, rocking out a little guitar here and there. But yeah, I'd say food is probably.
That doesn't inspire your art. It
Does
inspires your life.
my existence, I guess. Yeah, my entire existence.
No, I think something that is amazing to me is we've been together for we've been married about 5.5 years and been together over 6 years, and I think we've probably created more and done more
Oh, yeah.
since we've been together than maybe even all together. No, maybe not, but in a short period of time. So I think we inspire each other and
Oh, yeah.
motivate each
She
other.
definitely
And
yeah.
I think just having someone to uplift you and to have that support system there has been amazing for me. And I think that has helped us to get to where we are, by just doing that for each other. But yeah, and art shows, when you have a deadline for competition,
That'll
then
inspire you.
that's an inspiration and a motivation. And so not having that right now, our motivation is to put food on the table and to pay our bills. So unfortunately, it goes more to the business part, being motivated that way.
Inspirational, talking about the businesses being inspiring. I mean, shows being inspiring, that is a different type of inspiration, or because if I'm thinking, oh, here comes a show, what am I going to do? I'm thinking of what would win a show. I'm not thinking about something that would necessarily artistically be something from my soul or from my, my voice, but it's something that I think somebody else might like, when that's fun to draw too. But it's not the same as, what people define art as. One definition is that, it's something from within, and but sometimes all of us artists do it. We try. I know some big ones that do it too, that just create something that that would likely win or get the twinkle in the eye of a judge, and find favorable.
Okay, you guys say that you inspire each other. Have you worked together on anything, collaborated, or do you see yourselves collaborating in the future, or do you just want to keep away from each other?
No, we have helped each other. I mean, I don't know that it's a full-blown collaboration, but we'll be working on something. I know I do all the time. I'll work on something. I'll say, okay, there's something not right about this. Look at this, and see what you think, or I'll ask his opinion about something, and he'll look at it, and sometimes it's, oh no, it looks good. Sometimes it's, oh, well, why don't you try this? And then it's like, oh yeah, that's all it took, So I think that's one of the great things about being married to an artist is they've got that artist eye. So we can, always, even if we don't do a full blown, what people consider as a collaboration, we're always helpmates, but yeah, I would love to do that. And at some point, I don't know. We haven't
we've talked about it. We've talked about it and try to think of something.
I know.
But
I don't know. What should we do? So we'll see. We might surprise everybody one day.
Well, is there anything that you guys have to share that I haven't asked yet?
I know MaryBeth has 2 dogs in her lap right now.
They're so cute.
That's happening right now. You only see one right now, but there's actually 2. They don't know why they didn't want my lap, but
there's
your question was, is there something going on that there's something new? What is going on new, MaryBeth? To see now, this going online thing is something that this 2020 COVID thing is just terrible, awful thing, heartbreaking. But if you can make lemonade out of a lemon, it's that it pushed us to this online. We were already, marketing online, but we really turned up the heat, to try to increase sales. And we didn't know how to do it, and we had to look a lot, ask a lot, and make mistakes, and, and we carry on, with that. But it's been an interesting time. And we miss coming to Cahokia very badly.
Yes.
That's really we miss that a lot because it's just the time together, getting away, and setting up at the show, seeing friends, and we miss that a lot. And so, but selling online is, I think, our biggest thing right now.
We another thing that this year has done is pushed me way outside my comfort zone. We had started teaching, so we've been teaching a couple of years now, and we were going out west. Last year we were out in Oregon, Nevada, and California for 5 weeks total, off and on, teaching in small Native communities.
And that was great.
It was
wonderful.
Amazing. So when the pandemic started, then we thought, oh, well, there goes that, because we were just getting rolling on it. We thought, okay, we're going to start traveling, doing this all the time. But they went to online. And so they're still contracting us, but now we're doing it online. So that's why I told you earlier, I've done a lot of Zooms. So, so there's that. But then also I was able to start illustrating, which is something I've always wanted to do and couldn't have imagined it ever really happening, even if I would have had an opportunity before, I would have probably had to turn it down because we wouldn't have had time, because we're gone. We're doing shows, we're traveling, we're teaching, you know, all the time, gone. We're never home. And so this has given me an opportunity to slow down and to take these illustration jobs. So now I've done single illustrations for different publications, and I just finished illustrating Cynthia Leidick Smith's Indian Shoes book. So that comes out in February. So I'm really, really excited about that. And right now I am working with another Cherokee artist, Roy Boney Jr., and we are both illustrating an important Cherokee book that will be out. I don't know. We're still working on it, so I'm not sure when it'll be out. But that one has been, and it is very challenging, very amazing, you know, having the stories come into us and knowing what we need to illustrate. And I'm learning a lot about, you know, different folklore things, you know, from our tribe, and the stories that, you know, I've heard a lot of them, but there's some of them in this that I have not heard before. So it's been really, really neat to be a part of that. And I'm real humbled and honored to be able to be a part of it.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you guys for joining me today.
Our
I can't
pleasure.
wait until we have our next live market. We miss you guys so much, and we really wish that we
Oh,
Yeah,
we
me
miss y'all
too.
too. We miss y'all too. And tell Linda we said hello.
Okay. At least
Okay.
we got to do this, and
Yeah.
Right?
Looking forward to seeing y'all again.
Right.
Yeah.
Setting up at the show.
April.
April.
fingers crossed.
Right.
Okay, well, have a great evening.
Thank you.
You do the
You as
same.
well.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.